Once upon a time, in the heart of a mystical forest, stood the great rainbow tree. Its leaves sparkled like emeralds, its petals blazed like rubies, and its bark shone with golden hues. It had sucked the color out of the forest until the tree had no choice but to trap the fader within its trunk. Now, after all this time, the tree's magic was weak and the monster was stirring. He dashed to the whispering stone and began to scribble in the dirt, drawing pictures of the fader and his attacks. The others watched in confusion as KUKİ frantically worked, then suddenly shouted, "Look!" The pictures he had drawn were glowing brightly. They were nearing the edge of the forest. If they could just reach the river, they might be able to escape the fader's grasp. One by one, they snapped, allowing the friends to slip through. Just as they had hoped, the webs held ancient magic that responded to KUKİ's song. When the last note faded away, they found themselves in a dark and narrow canyon. They had escaped the cave and returned to the whispering forest. That evening, as the sky turned a brilliant shade of blue, the great rainbow tree bloomed like never before. Its flowers burst into a kaleidoscope of colors, bathing the forest in a warm glow. The animals cheered, celebrating their victory and the return of the colors. That night, KUKİ and his friends feasted under the tree, their bellies full of sweet fruits and juicy grubs. "We did it," said KUKİ, a wide grin on his face. "We saved the forest." KUKABRA nodded, his eyes shining. "Indeed, little friend, you showed great bravery and quick thinking." Pip beamed, his heart swelling with pride. "We make a pretty good team, don't we?" he said, nudging KUKİ playfully. Wally, ever the joker, added, "Just imagine what we'll accomplish next. Maybe we'll find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow." They all laughed, the sound echoing through the now brilliantly colored forest. The walls were slick, and the only light came from a faint glow emanating from the ground beneath their feet. KUKİ learned that true magic wasn't about taking, it was about sharing, as long as they worked together and never gave up hope. He and his friends could overcome any challenge. And with that, their adventures in the whispering forest continued. At the end of the canyon, they could feel a powerful energy building, but they couldn't see what it was. "What do we do?" whispered Pip, fear creeping into his voice. Suddenly, KUKABRA, the bird, swooped down from above. "There's a cave entrance hidden behind those hanging vines," she called out. "It's our only way forward." Wally, the wallaby, used his powerful legs to bound over fallen trees and rocks, leading the way. "Look," she hissed, pointing with her beak. "The shadow spider's lair." From the corners of the cave, 8 glowing eyes emerged, staring directly at them. The shadow spider emerged, her 8 legs clicking on the cave floor. Her eyes, like polished onyx, glinted with malice. "Who dares enter my domain?" she hissed. KUKİ stepped forward, meeting her gaze. "We need to get to the source of that energy, the light thief chameleon," he said. "He's using your webs to hide from us." The spider snarled, but before she could attack, KUKİ continued, "If you help us, I promise we will free you from his webs." She hesitated, torn between her hatred for the chameleon and her desire for freedom. Seeing her struggle, KUKİ pressed on, reminding her of the beauty of the forest, the colors that had been stolen, and the hope that they could bring back the light. Eventually, the spider relented, leading them deeper into the cave. "Beware," she warned, "the chameleon's magic is strong. Use your wits, little ones, if you wish to prevail." Suddenly, a thick curtain of webs blocked their path. "Fools," he hissed. "With these colors, I'll be unstoppable." KUKİ knew he had to act fast. Pip sprayed water from his bill, creating a prism that reflected a fake rainbow onto the chameleon. Wally, the wallaby, hopped in front of it, distracting the chameleon with a series of dizzying spins and leaps. While the chameleon was momentarily confused, KUKİ lunged forward, grabbing the color-filled orb. With all his might, he hurled it high into the sky. For a moment, the cavern was plunged into darkness, then exploded with color. The stolen shades blazed, painting the cavern walls in a magnificent display. The chameleon, blinded and confused, stumbled back, letting out a roar of frustration. Dangling from the trees were more webs, forming a sticky maze that stretched as far as they could see. "We're trapped," cried KUKİ, feeling despair creep in. But then he remembered his mother's lullabies. She had always hummed ancient songs of the forest, songs that echoed with the spirits of the trees and animals. KUKİ closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and began to hum. The melody was soft at first, but grew in strength, vibrating through the forest floor and shaking the webs above them. The fader paused, sensing the growing power from the stone. Startled by the sudden brightness, he stumbled backward, giving KUKİ time to complete his masterpiece. The last stroke of his paw glowed with an otherworldly light. "This would distract him," whispered KUKİ, glancing at his friends. "Now's our chance." If they didn't stop him, the whole forest would turn to lifeless gray. They dodged between trees, leaping over fallen logs and racing along winding paths. The fader close behind. The forest, once vibrant and colorful, was now shrouded in darkness, making it hard to see. But KUKİ knew he had to keep moving. Then he spotted something, a small clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center lay a patch of glowing mushrooms. Perfect, thought KUKİ. Pip, the platypus, understood his plan and rushed forward, knocking over as many mushrooms as he could. Suddenly, the forest floor was illuminated by an eerie green glow. The fader, blinded and confused, slowed down, giving the friends some much-needed space. "Keep going," urged KUKİ, knowing this was their last chance. "But how can we defeat such a powerful monster?" asked KUKİ. Suddenly, Dara, the wise giant lizard, emerged from the bushes. "The answer lies in the ancient markings on the whispering stone," he said. "I will take you there, little ones. But hurry," he added, noticing the dark clouds gathering overhead. "The great fader is awakening, and the forest is in danger." The tree's magic blessed the animals of the forest with their beautiful colors. But one morning, when KUKİ Koala awoke from his slumber, he noticed something terribly wrong. The eucalyptus leaves, which usually glittered green, were now a dull gray, and the vibrant red wara flowers were ashen and lifeless. Even the sky seemed to have lost its brilliant blue. What was happening? He raced to his mother, who was tending to her garden of rainbow flowers. "Mama, the leaves are gray, the flowers are gray, even the sky is gray," cried KUKİ. "It looks like someone has sucked all the color out of the world." "The great rainbow tree's magic is fading," said his mother, her eyes filled with worry. "Without its magic, our forest and all its inhabitants would turn to lifeless gray." KUKİ's mother explained that long ago, a terrible monster known as the Great Fader had tried to steal the great rainbow tree's magic. As they raced through the darkening forest, the friends came across a clearing. In the center stood a moss-covered stone tablet covered with mysterious symbols. "Here it is, the Whispering Stone," said Dara, rushing forward. But just as he reached it, the ground beneath them rumbled and the fader appeared, a swirling vortex of darkness reaching for the tree. "Stop him!" cried KUKİ, leaping into action. The friends scattered, each using their unique abilities to try and hold off the creature. But the fader was too strong. With each swipe of his shadowy claws, he sent the animals tumbling through the air. Then KUKİ noticed something strange. Every time the fader struck the ground, cracks appeared, revealing a shimmering light beneath the surface. An idea sparked in KUKİ's mind. As the fader charged towards them, fixated on the glowing image of himself, KUKİ and his friends took off running. In the distance, they could hear the roar of rushing water. As the song reached its peak, the webs began to tremble. As the friends moved closer, Kookabra's sharp eyes spotted a pair of glittering orbs in the darkness. They found themselves in a vast cavern. Before them sat the light thief Chameleon, surrounded by stolen rainbows. "So you finally come," he sneered when the light returned. KUKİ and his friends were gone, and so, thanks to KUKİ's courage and quick thinking, the forest was once again filled with the beauty of the great rainbow tree.